Hi everybody. I had some teachers come to me and ask if I could make an instructional video on how I use Google Slides with Screencast-O-Matic um, to make a YouTube video as a lesson to use with my remote students in case we were remote, which kind of has happened quite a bit this year. Um, I use Google Slides because I'm familiar with that platform. I'm sure there are other ways that you could do this, but this is the way I found easiest for myself. So I'm going to play the video for you for a second just to see how, so you can see how it's set up. So in a second, two book titles are going to pop up. These book titles are from the book bonanza that's going to happen in my school. It's like March Madness where kids pick between different books. So they have two titles they choose from: The Wild Robot or Mango, Abuela, and Me. And they have 10 seconds to choose. Once they make their choice, then there's an exercise that comes up. So if they choose The Wild Robot, they're going to jog in place for 25 seconds. And if they choose Mango, Abuela, and Me, then they're going to do jumping jacks for 25 seconds. So the way I made this was that I decided to use Google Slides. And for instance, I'll show you on this slide how I got the images. So I just went to Google and I type in The Wild Robot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on images. And then I click on it and I just slide it over to my desktop. And then I can rename it whatever I want it to be. So I would rename it The Wild Robot later on. I go back to my slides. I'm going to delete this so I can show you how you insert it. So then I just take the image and I drag it over into my presentation. And then I can click, I can reposition it. I can click on the sides of it to make it a little bit bigger. So that's how I did it. You can also insert from your actual Google slide, but I found it was easier to just drag it to the desktop. And then once it's on the desktop, it's saved for me so I can use it in the next slide. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Also so what I mean on the next slide is when I click on the next slide, at the top, I also put that image of the book in case the students forgot, oh, I don't remember what I picked. If they chose The Wild Robot, they know right below it is their exercise that they're going to do. So since it's already on my desktop, I can drag it into the next slide and I can just make it smaller and drag it to the top. So for the Gifs, same thing with Google. So let's say I said I wanted jogging in place GIF. So let's say I click on this one. It shows you 30 seconds of the time running in the spot, and all I did was just drag it to my desktop. And then I can use it. And then I just insert it into my Google Slides like I did with the book covers. The hardest part, I think, of making these videos is the actual timer. So I'll show you how I did that. So on the timer, when you click on it at the top, it actually shows that it's 35 seconds. But when we use the full 35 seconds, because it comes up with all the like YouTube, it comes up with like the images and the words in the back, and you don't want that when you're actually playing your video. So I'm going to show you how I inserted video. I click insert, I go to video. YouTube automatically pops up. So let's say I'm going to do a 35-second countdown timer. I click search. It pops up. I click on it. I click select. And then it's going to come into my Google slide. And then I can just make it smaller and reposition it, which is what I had already done. So I'm going to actually delete that. But that's how you put the timer in. And then when I want to actually videotape, I put it in, I go to Screencast-O-Matic, and then I would put it on my screen, my Google Slide screen, and I would click present here. So then it makes it full screen, and I would record like I'm doing right now. I would record, and I would go through and I would just go really slow when I record, so that the entire timer would go through, so the kids, when I go to play it back, it's all set up for me. So let me escape out of this. And then from there, when you go back to edit, when you've recorded the whole thing and you go back to edit, so I will show you in Screencast-O-Matic. Here's my video. I click on it, and then I'm going to go underneath and click edit, and then my whole video pops up. So I can I can show the cursor, so the cursor comes up here. And I realized later on that when I was playing back my video, I didn't want the cursor up there, so I just unclick that, the cursor doesn't come up. But I'll show you how you can cut out. So remember on the video, so let's say we play and we go up to, let's say we're on the timer and I want to cut. So instead of starting at 19 seconds, I want to start it later. Remember, so we said we could cut out all those words, so it starts like 5 seconds later, so it's a clean when you go to play it. All I do is click on cut, and then I can drag to where I want to cut it, and then I could push OK to cut that piece out, and then it takes it out. I'm actually going to go back because I don't want to do that. But that's how you edit it out. So going back in and editing, it just takes a long time. But then you have a clean product at the end where you can, if you want your timer to start at 30 seconds, you actually use like a 35-second video, YouTube video, and then you just edit out that first 5 seconds so it's clean once the video starts. And also you can go back and add music. So when I recorded my video and I went back to edit, I added that music in, so that whistling piece that you hear in the background music, I put that in through Screencast-O-Matic. So that's how I make these videos. If anyone has any other questions, I'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.